G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. Hope you're ready for another cocktail. This one is a margarita riff called Cinnamon Girl. I found it on Steve the Bartender site, although it's originally a Death & Co recipe. And well, honestly, this is a good crossover cocktail. As I make this, it's like the changing of seasons. Late summer for a lot of the Northern Hemisphere, they're starting to get cooler weather. Early spring here in Australia, and we're starting to get warmer weather. Margarita, that this is a riff on, often seen as a summer drink, but this has elements of orange and cinnamon that make it a nice crossover, I think. But I'd have this anytime. But you should join me. Go back in time a little and find out how I made it. Back in time to where this drink started. And really, this started a little while ago when I ordered some things online that I'd always wanted. A proper Lewis bag and a mallet to do crushed ice. If you go back through all my videos, you will find very few with crushed ice because I can always improvise, but I didn't have the best tools. And then one of my favorite online stores, Only Bitters, did actually say, hey, look what's back in stock, Lewis bag and mallet. So I got it, and that was the start of this. And the second part of this is something I bought just because it was on special. It was maybe the last they had of what's from Bitterman's called Hiva Amer, which is a winter bitter. And I just thought, hey, it's on special, and I like Bitterman's products, I'll get it. And I also like the story behind it. Apparently with this, they were working on an amaro, and when they were doing a preparation, someone misread the instructions and used 10 times too much cinnamon. And when they tasted it, oh, that's not what we're after, but maybe there's something there. So this is what came out, which I think is a limited edition, a winter bitter. They recommend putting it in stuff like some stuff to warm you up on those winter days, like mulled wine or mulled cider. I've been looking around for a recipe, and I think I found one. I simply searched bitter, orange, and no, what was the search terms? It was cinnamon and orange cocktail, and this particular one came up. I found it on the Steve the Bartender's site, but it's originally from the very well-known group Death & Co. This drink is called the Cinnamon Girl Margarita. It's obviously a riff on the margarita with that name. And don't worry if you don't have this cinnamon orange liqueur that I have, because that's not in the original recipe. The original recipe said to use cinnamon syrup and orange bitters to get that name. So I'm improvising. I'm a big advocate for improvising. If you see a recipe and you go, that sounds interesting, but I don't have that product. If you're unfamiliar with the product, look up its flavor profile. You might have something that will be an interesting substitute. It's not going to be the same, but you could get a good result. I mean, for that matter, this is a tequila-based drink because it's a margarita riff. I'm going to use Espolón, their Reposado Tequila. Obviously, just using different tequilas will also make this a different drink. So don't be afraid to improvise, is what I'm going to say. The other key element you'll want is a Gold Rum. I'm going to use Flor de Cana 7-year, and this also has lime juice and sugar syrup in it. But without further ado, let's get into it. This drink has actual oranges in it. The instructions said 2 or 3 wedges of orange, which is a bit imprecise, and I think orange juice tends to overpower a drink. So I'm just going for 2. I cut up some orange, putting it in our mixing glass, and first up, just going to lightly muddle that. Not totally crush it. We don't want to get the bitterness that you can get if you do that, but just release some of the oils and juice in the bottom of your mixing glass. Tequila time, we are going to add 2 ounces or 60 mils of tequila. The Gold Rum is not meant to be a major part of this. It's just an interesting little twist in there. You're just going for 1/4 of an ounce or about 7.5 mils of rum. The Death & Co recipe said to add 15 mils of cinnamon syrup and a couple of dashes of orange bitters. So I'm going to add 15 mils of my orange cinnamon liqueur or amaro. So that's just, 15 mils, half an ounce of the cinnamon liqueur or syrup. I have some lime juice I squeezed earlier. We're going to add half an ounce or 15 mils of lime juice. The final touch is a little sweetener, some sugar syrup, just 1/4 ounce, around 7.5 mils. This is some I made, or you can of course buy sugar syrup, but you can just make it on the stove, 50% water, 50% sugar. Don't even have to use the stove if you're patient. I just warm up the water a bit. Don't boil it, but warm it up so it's easier to dissolve the sugar. Whichever way you choose, I'm going to add quarter of an ounce, around 7.5 mils of sugar syrup. This is a shaking cocktail, so we add ice to our shaker, put it together, bang it in hard, shake that for about 10 seconds. Now I'm going to strain that into a rocks glass filled with crushed ice. Get that rather nice orange color. Ooh, my first experiment with crushed ice. I judged that fairly finely. I think we want to add a garnish to this. The Death & Co recommend an orange wheel and a cinnamon stick. And there we have the Cinnamon Girl. That is a good use of both my cinnamon and orange amaro and my Lewis bag. Oh, I just feel it's like Christmas. Do you ever do that? I'm sure it's a cliche. I've been buying stuff non-stop since COVID. I've been working from home for 18 months and just brightens the day to order things online and have them arrive. And this is no exception. It lets me enjoy this margarita riff. And I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're looking after yourself. And hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you did. Hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload. And yeah, let me know. Have you ever bought something without knowing at all what it was going to be like and then tried to find uses for it? This one's worked out for me. I'll probably do more with this in the future. But that's it. That's enough for now, I think. I'm going to go off and finish this. So I do hope you take care of yourself and take care of people around you. Until I see you again, cheers.